The greatest disaster in the history of the Bible that claimed the most lives was the Great Flood. This was the event known as Noah's flood. We do not know exactly how many perished, but only 8 people survived this disaster. The record tells us that it was only Noah's family who survived. One curious question is this: what were all the other people doing while these 8 entered the ark? The account of Noah's flood is found in Genesis chapters 6, 7, and 8 of the Old Testament. But no matter how closely we search, we find no record of what the rest of the people were doing apart from Noah and his family. What were the rest of the people doing at that time, and why didn't they survive the disaster? The Bible verse that I would like to introduce today is Matthew chapter 24, verse 37. As it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. On Tuesday, 3 days before he met his fate on the cross, Jesus Christ prophesied what the situation would be like after about 2,000 years, that is, in the age we are living in today, saying the following: As it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. For in the days before the flood, people were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, up to the day Noah entered the ark, and they knew nothing about what would happen until the flood came and took them all away. That is how it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. However, what is quite interesting here is that it provides quite detailed descriptions of what people were doing at the time of the flood. While Noah and his family were entering the ark, the rest of the people were simply eating and drinking, living their lives as usual. And even as it rained and the waters rose, they had no idea of what was about to happen. Then, why were they idle, making no preparations whatsoever, in the face of the heavy rain that seemed as if the sky had opened up? People at that time could not have anticipated that the rain would lead to such a massive flood. And by the time they decided to do something, it would have been too late. The flood, Michelangelo's mural depicting Noah's flood, vividly captures the figures of those who were left behind. Due to the unexpected flood, most of the people depicted in the painting are not even properly dressed. Some were taking shelter from the rain in narrow, precarious tents that seemed ready to be submerged at any moment, while others had managed to climb onto the ark, but finding no way in, were desperately striking it with an axe. Through the depictions in the painting, we can discover the boundless vulnerability of humans in the face of disasters that surpass our expectations. If the same situation were to occur today, the outcome might not be much different. Unpredictability. This is precisely the most essential attribute of disasters. However, as it is written, that it will be in the same situation as in the days of Noah. Even at this point in our lives, unpredictable disasters are lurking in many forms. With industrialization and the advancement of various technologies, sudden disasters that could not have occurred in the past are now happening all around us. The time, place, type, and scale of the outbreak, there is no such thing as perfect preparedness that does not have a gap in any one of these areas. What should we do in the face of such unavoidable disasters? There are definitely limits to what can be achieved with human strength and effort alone. To us, the Bible reveals the most complete and certain way to prepare, which is the New Covenant Passover. The Korean name for the Passover comes from the symbols for to jump over and to cross, implying that the disasters will pass over, and it is also reflected in the English term, Passover, signifying disasters will pass over. The reason we are confident that we will be protected from disasters when we keep the New Covenant Passover is because it is God, a supernatural being, who has promised this protection. In fact, the Bible records that those who observed the Passover were protected from disasters. When the Israelites were enslaved in Egypt, although the whole land trembled in fear from an unprecedented disaster, they kept the Passover and were protected by God. About 800 years later, when the mighty Assyrian Empire invaded Israel, they were once again protected by keeping the Passover. Those who kept the Passover according to God's promise were protected from all forms of disaster. Can we really avoid disasters just by keeping the Passover? Are you perhaps asking this question to yourselves? We cannot fully prepare for all disasters, as we don't know when or how they will occur. It is certainly fortunate to be unharmed by chance or good luck, but we cannot leave every moment to luck and coincidence. Therefore, more than ever, we need a firm promise, rather than relying on uncertain things like luck or chance. That is exactly what the New Covenant Passover is.